For me personally, I think it's awesome because, I was that guy that grew up with Jordans and just loved it from day one. I had the ones, and when I first saw the ones, I was like, damn, this is the shit, because this is just like so different than everything else that's out there. And I like being different. I like it's just kind of the way I am. So to know that, and then to play basketball, I just love the game of basketball, and so it was pretty cool. And then when they asked me to kind of be a part of the brand, that made it even more special. The great thing is prior to Nike becoming a brand, I had developed a relationship with Michael, and it's pretty cool because in a lot of ways, because I'm like, I was telling somebody this earlier, I'm like kind of the dinosaur of the group. I've had kind of a really, really close relationship with Michael, and in a lot of ways, he depends on me to kind of be his eyes and ears, when we're on the campus at Nike. He just knows that I'm going to kind of know what he's interested in, what his point of view is going to be, what his likes are, and he feels really, really confident in me kind of making some decisions. And even when the decisions are kind of, I'm not sure which way Michael goes, he knows that I'm going to get with him and say, hey, look, here's what's being presented, here's why I think it's this way, what do you think? And we just kind of come to a happy medium. So from a work relation standpoint, it's great. From a friend standpoint, it's obviously awesome because not many people can say that they've worked with possibly the greatest player to ever play the game of basketball.
Probably greatest athlete, full stop.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, and there's a lot of like really cool like fringe benefits that come with it. Just to be around him and some of the things that he does, and just be able to experience some of the things he does. So I play golf. I love golf now that I'm an old man and can't get on the hoop court anymore. I play golf, and so Michael. I was with Michael. Well, the first time this happened was about 3 or 4 years ago. I was with Michael, and he says, hey, let's go. We had a meeting. He said, let's go play. And I was like, okay, cool. So we go play. And by the way, the very first time I played with him, he said he has to put something on the line. It would kill him to know that I have the ability to go out and tell someone that I beat him. So he needs that extra edge. So he has to have something on. He has to bet on something, whether it's $5 or $100,000, whatever. He's got to bet for something. So the first time we played golf, he said, well, what do you want to bet for? And I looked at him like, I'm like, well, how about we take 1% of your income and 1% of mine? and I said, if I'm standing over a putt worth $300, I mean, my ass is gonna shake. I said, you won't even flinch. I said, if it's worth $300,000, your ass might shake like mine. Maybe. And so he's like, get the fuck. So we ended up betting for like $50, so we end up, we go out and golf, or we get to the course, and so I said, well, who's the other people in our foursome? And he goes, John Cook. John Cook plays on the PGA Tour, and he said Tiger. So I was like, oh sweet. Okay. So so I'm sitting in a golf foursome with MJ, Tiger Woods, and John Cook. For me, a guy who loves golf, man, it doesn't get much better than that, So there's a lot of like cool things that I've been able to experience. I probably couldn't put a price tag on, and I enjoy it. And then at the same time, I think probably one of the things that I most respect about Michael is the fact that he's a guy that's extremely, extremely intelligent, that people would not even expect. I mean, first of all, his basketball IQ is off the charts. I mean, phenomenal. I mean, he could tell you, like, when he played the game, I remember sitting down with him and, right before a playoff game, and I was like, well, man, who do you like to check, or who do you think defends you the best? I'm asking him all these questions. And the crazy thing to me was that he could tell you at any given time, like if I said Reggie Miller, he said 20% of his shots are short, 25% of his shots are are bouncing to the left of the rim, 32% going. I mean, he could just rattle that off. And I mean, his IQ for the game is just ridiculous. And I think that his approach and his intensity and his will to just be the best and to succeed is so powerful that you could just see that it kind of cast an aura over all the people that are around him. And so when you have someone like that, I mean, it only forces you to kind of step your game up a little bit, and or a whole lot in some cases. And it's a pretty cool deal. So I mean, for me, it's awesome. And you know, he's a guy that is sharp enough to be able to articulate why he likes something and why he doesn't. You know, I've sat down with athletes when we worked on special shoes and you know, said, hey, we're doing this because of this and blah blah blah. Here's 5 shoes. What do you think? And they're like, man, y'all confusing me, man. You know. And Michael can clearly tell you, hey, you know, here's why, you know, this is working for me. This is super lightweight. My game is, you know, about a finesse game. This big thing on the heel, that makes it look heavy and cumbersome. We got to make it, if we're going to go with that, we need to make it slim, streamlined. I mean, he can tell you, you know, why something works for him. And not a lot of people or players especially can do that. So, sharp guy.